Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Tomas Kovac. That's a little bit different than what you would normally pronounce that. And I'm gonna guide you through our road to HANA. So just for those of you who don't know who are we, so we are basically in a business for like 20 years. We are partners with SAP, we are partners with SUSE, we are partners with Dynamics. We have customers of all sizes and regions, and we are focusing on data transformation, data management, and SAP ABAP programming, and development, and products and services. Now, our background is really tightly connected with SLO. I'm not quite sure if anyone here knows what that is. So it stands for System Landscape Optimization, and that's basically if you have SAP systems that need to be like merged together after acquisition of a company by another company, or if you need to do a carve-out, and it basically started with currency conversions project in Europe. We have unique tools, software tools that are either built by us, or we are using SAP standard tools and expert consulting to basically make our customers happy. Right, so this complete HANA migration topic is like an elephant in a room for a couple of years now, and it's with our background of doing this SLO and island projects, it's only natural that we basically started to use the same tricks for HANA migrations, and basically normally when customers are planning HANA migrations, they are doing many decisions. However, one of the key decisions is whether to go with a new installation that's normally called a greenfield approach, or whether they will be using something of their old infrastructure and old SAP system. So that's normally called brownfield approach. So while there is certainly a value in starting all over, we normally recommend to very heavily consider this brownfield approach, because it is known to have less business disruption. So you don't need to start all over. You can reuse what's good in your former SAP environment. So basically, our road to HANA runs in three main steps. So we explore the situation as is, so the current system or systems. Then, based on the results, we basically sit together with the customer and plan the best way how to do it in terms of downtime minimization, in terms of TCO reduction, in terms of return of investment optimization. Once this is like agreed on, we are basically going to the execution phase, where we basically in a couple of test runs based on the complexity of a scenario on there, we basically execute the change, execute the migration, and that's basically like a very high overview of how do we do it. We are using heavily tool-based and heavily automated approaches. So we basically run our software or SAP standard software, and based on the results, we can just proceed. So I will now guide you through a little bit in details about those three steps. So this explorational phase usually starts with something that is called HANA Readiness test. It's a package of a more generic bundle called fitness test that basically runs in a source system, so the old SAP environment, and after that it basically generates something like a health card of the system, and it covers topics like performance, data quality, housekeeping and archiving potential, custom development, and then HANA readiness in terms of versioning differences of different components, in terms of custom developments that would need to be adjusted to basically match HANA database requirements. And also what we are doing with this is that we are benchmarking the results of our customers anonymized with the other customers, so they know basically where they are standing. So this health card and this analysis up front allows us to see how the current system is structured. So what's the data distribution? So before the actual change, what we usually do and encourage customers to do is to reduce the system size. So because the smaller the system is, then the migration will be faster, the target HANA could be smaller and therefore cheaper. So this analysis can basically discover housekeepable data in a system. So this is the data which is like old logs, temporary data, and the things that can be deleted or basically house kept. And we have a, again, tool-based solution for that. Then another category which should be dealt with before the actual migration is cold data. So again, shrinking the size of the system before the migration is something that makes a lot of sense. So this can be offloaded somewhere, archived somewhere into different storage, into cheaper storage, into Hadoop, into some other SQL database maybe, or any other storage, while keeping access to the data. So it's still there, but if you don't need to access it that often, it can sit on older or slower or alternative storage. So once this is kind of done and dusted, we can basically deal with SAP basis. That's not that much we can do with it. This is something that we need to have in order to start the system. But basically the hot data is the actual application data that we want to move over. So with that, we basically, coming from our SLO background, we can introduce different ways how to optimize the downtime. We have this concept called near zero downtime, where we really are running parts of the migration in the uptime with limited work processes, and then basically in some short downtime we can bring over the delta. Also, what we can do, again, that this is basically coming from our SLO experience from the past. We don't need to copy systems one to one. We can basically copy data selectively. So, for example, to create a quality system from production, to create new quality system for production, what we usually do, or what we often do, is that we take some time slice, so let's say last 2 years, and this handful of company codes, for example. Other thing that I would like to mention here is that, again, we have tool-based automated validation software that basically takes snapshots before and after, and it automates and it helps very much in a test cycles. So it speeds them up and eliminates human labor and human errors eventually. So this is an example how it can work. So we have our current productive system of a customer that is running on some DB, which is not HANA, so like a standard DB. Then we do have a NetWeaver sitting on top of that. So what we often do is that, well, considering that in order to go to HANA, you need to have quite high level of NetWeaver. So you need of NetWeaver version. So there is often an upgrade required. So what we do, for instance, is that we do a empty shell of a system. So we copy the system, but without application data. So the users will be there, client independent customizing will be there, system will be functional after that. Users could log on, and the data structure will be there, all the developments will be there, everything will be there except master and transactional data. So it will be really like an empty system. Then this empty system is very, well, it's quite easy or fast to basically upgrade to the required HANA version, to the required NetWeaver version. So we upgrade, so we optimize the downtime and optimize the complete procedure by upgrading the empty copy of a system, empty shell of a system, which is quite quick. And then we can perform OSDB migration to HANA. So now we have an empty NetWeaver system running on SAP HANA as the database, and then we can pour in the data using our SLO tools, either complete or selectively, as I was saying before. Also, we can do anonymization on the way. We can do different conversions and basically anything that. Any logic that customers might want and might throw at us. Yeah. So that's basically it for the slides, and I believe that you have some questions.